Hi there, Miranda Alt here with Keller Williams Success Real Estate and the Miranda Alt team with your Monday market update on Tuesday, August 20th, 2024. Thanks so much for watching. Let's take a quick look at your McHenry County numbers for the last 7 days. We had 175 new listings, 156 under contract, 91 closed sales, 60 price changes, 42 on the private network, and 3 expired. So once again, we're in the 7th, 8th week of consistently having more new listings than those going under contract. That's a great thing for our inventory issue that we've been struggling with for the past 3-4 years. So now we're finally starting to make some headway in this inventory department. Now, I was looking at the InfoSparks numbers, which is how we measure our data on the MLS, and we are pretty flat in terms of inventory from June and July. We do not have our August numbers yet because obviously August isn't over. And so in the early to mid-September, we'll be able to see what's really happening with August numbers. But as it looks right now, our inventory is holding steady. Now, that's good in the sense that it's not going down. We're not heading in the wrong direction with inventory. And our prices are actually also pretty stagnant. They're not going down. Prices are holding very steady, but we're not seeing them increase, which is the trend that we've seen for the last few years. So that's a good thing as well, that we're seeing things sort of level out. Now, we are anticipating a rate cut in September. So when the Feds meet in September, I believe it's the 15th, we'll see if they're going to do a rate cut. They've been indicating that they will be doing a rate cut. So hopefully we'll have those interest rates come down at least a little bit in September. Now, if that happens, we have to be careful because we might see those prices spike again, because there will be some buyers who return to the market due to the lower interest rates and try and take advantage of the lower interest rates. But that could cause prices to go up as we see the return of more and more multiple offer situations. So we'll just have to see how that pans out. But as it looks right now, we're making some headway in the inventory department. Interest rates are stable. We do have people that have gone on vacation or taking kids back to school. That's where I was yesterday, taking my son to college. So we do have some people who are taking care of some family stuff in August. It is normal for us to see a little bit of a slowdown in August, but then a little bit of a peak again in September as people get back to their normal lives and their normal schedules. So we'll see how that all pans out. But that's kind of what I would anticipate happening, is that in September, should we get a rate cut, that will spur our inventory, our activity again. And as we see sort of us get more into our normal fall schedule, we should see some people come back to the market and put some homes under contract as well. Now, keep in mind, in 2021, we sold 6.3 million homes, or 6.1. In 2022, we sold 5.3 million homes. In 2023, we only sold 4.3 million homes. And this year, we'll be lucky to sell 4 million homes. So transactions overall are down across the board, across the nation. Part of that is lack of inventory. Part of that is affordability issues. And part of that is people locked in at very low interest rates and not wanting to give up their low interest rates. So, hopefully if we get if the Feds do cut rates in September, that should alleviate some of those issues. And we should see more people return to the market, sellers putting their homes on the market, buyers returning to the market, and we'll see how that all pans out. Now, there's another elephant in the room that we have to address, which is that this last weekend on Saturday, August 17th, the litigation with the National Association of Realtors, the subsequent rules that were handed down as a result of the settlement went into effect on August 17th. And I just want to briefly touch on that, what that means for you as buyers and sellers. So there are 2 changes that you need to be aware of, just 2. One, in the MLS, which is the multiple listing service, where we put all of our listings and where homes that get listed for sale, they go on the multiple listing service. The buyer agency compensation line has been removed. That is no longer being listed. Previous to the litigation or previous to the rule change, we were able to go on to any listing and see what the seller was offering as a buyer agency compensation. That line is now gone. Number 2 is that all buyers now must sign a buyer agency agreement if they are working with an agent. That is in order to make it more transparent how a buyer's agent is being paid, and that is to be negotiated with the buyer at the time of signing that agreement. So if you are a buyer out there and you're working with an agent, you are no longer able to go see a home without having that buyer agency agreement signed. So if you meet with a buyer agent and they say, I need you to sign this agreement, don't think that you're going to call another agent and be able to get around signing that agreement. It is now law. You may not see a property without a buyer agency agreement signed. And if there's an agent out there that's willing to show you a property without having a buyer agency agreement signed, they are breaking the law and they should not be doing that. So Those are the two major changes. Buyer agency agreement must be signed prior to seeing a property, and the buyer compensation is removed from the MLS. Those are the two changes. Now, how does that impact you? Now, a lot of sellers out there are going, great, I don't have to pay a buyer agency commission. Wonderful. Well, that is an option. You for sure can do that, but you need to understand that every buyer is going to be working with, 88% of buyers in this market historically have used a buyer's agent in order to see a property and to put a home under contract. This is the largest transaction that most people will ever be involved in, and most people will want to have a professional guiding them through this process. I do believe we will start to see some discount brokers show up. We've already had Redfin in the market for a long time, offering the 1% fee. Now, of course, they have a lot of fine print involved in that. Not that that's bad, but it's just if that's what you want, if you want the cheapest, then you probably can find some cheap agents out there willing to work for less. There's also a difference between a professional real estate agent and a person with a real estate license. And so I don't know about you, but when I'm working with things that are important to me, for example, my health, but making big purchases, I want a professional. I have a financial advisor who helps me decide where to put my money. I have a professional tax person doing my taxes. I want to hire professionals when I am looking for services that are really important to me. The same should be true when you're dealing with your real estate. So you can find the cheapest if you want. I'm sure that we will see brokerages pop up all over the place offering, we can't really talk about commissions, so a one banana fee to go see the property. I'm sure you can have that, but then you're going to have people who are professionals and who know what they're doing. You need to keep in mind that transactions are falling apart at record numbers. 16% of transactions are falling apart in this market. It's because buyers are nervous, but it's expensive. Buyers don't know how to navigate this process. And if you've got an agent who doesn't do a lot of transactions or doesn't do a lot of business, they might not necessarily know how to handle issues that come up during inspection or during attorney review, and the deal's going to fall apart. So the level of service that you will be provided with could be correlated with the amount that person is willing to work for in terms of payment. I work for a certain amount of compensation and I expect to be paid, but I am a professional and I believe that I give a very high level of service to my clients. I protect them. I always say my job is two things. One is to get you the most amount of money for your house, and two is to keep you out of court because I don't want my clients getting sued, and there's a lot of legal things that you have to do in order to avoid that one thing, and then in order to get you the most amount of money that you can. So you have to be aware when you're hiring somebody, whether it's to list your home or to help you find your next home. Those are professional people who are going to expect to be paid for their services. And if they're not expecting to be paid, then they're volunteers. And if they're volunteers, how good are they at that particular job? So just something to keep in mind. If you have more questions about it, of course, I'm always here to answer your questions. Please feel free to give me a call or send me an email or message me here on social media. I'm here to help and be your guide and your professional in the real estate industry. So I'm Miranda Alt. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and please call me or reach out with any questions. Have a great day. Bye.